Today's guest has had a breakout year in 2019. He's a second rower come blindside flanker for the Western Force, winning the Phil Waugh medal as man of the match in this year's NRC Grand Final as they romped home 5 second-half tries against the Canberra Vikings. He picked up the Matt Hodgson Rising Star Award and just missed out on the prestigious Nathan Sharp medal as the Force's Players Player this year. Hailing from a property near a small country town called Aberdeen in the Upper Hunter region of New South Wales, Fergus Lee-Warner, good afternoon and welcome to the Stockman Sessions.
G'day, how you going?
Fergus, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you first got into rugby.
Well, I grew up 45 minutes east of Aberdeen, and I actually started playing hockey when I was really little. Mum made my sister and I play hockey when I was probably 6. And then then Dad stepped in and was like, my sister and I actually started playing rugby when I was, I think, 8 years old in Muswellbrook. That was the only club that had a junior rugby team. My sister was actually one of the better ones in the team, but because ever wanted to tackle her because she was a girl. But that's where I started. I started in Muswellbrook, and we actually had a pretty good. We had a really good team actually. We won our grand final in our first year, so that's where I started my love for rugby, and then obviously just played locally at home until I went away to school when I was 12 for secondary school, and I played rugby all the way through at school, and then I finished school and did a year jackarooing. Didn't continue playing rugby after school. Just thought I'd have a year off, and I went up to Kununurra to work on a cattle station up there, and moved back to Sydney to go to uni and started playing rugby again down at Eastern Suburbs when I got back after my year off.
So 3 years with Eastern Suburbs after Jackaroo year, and you find yourself heading west.
So I was just playing footy in Sydney, just working and studying, and I never even thought that I'd get a professional contract out of playing footy. I never even imagined that would be an option. I just like playing rugby because it's good fun to have it with all your mates playing and making new friends. So I was just playing, and then obviously NRC came around and I played in that, and then I was actually driving back to Sydney for work and I got a phone call from my agent, and he said the Force want you to come over and play in Perth with this new rugby competition. Do you want to give it a crack? And at first I didn't really know what to expect. Living over on the East Coast, you never really hear of Perth, and a fellow called Alex Newsom, who I used to live with at the time, he was over there, so I gave him a ring and he said it's unreal, so I decided to bite the bullet, and I went over, and I don't think I've ever regretted or anything. Perth's a really good city. It's a big country town, so I'm really happy I took the risk and went across and played in the new competition. From doing that, I've had a lot of fun and some success, and just really enjoyed the fact that I went across and took the chance.
Yeah, well, absolutely, Fergus. I mean, 2019 was your second year with the Force, and you've signed on again, I believe. And the new competition for the Force, Global Rapid Rugby, what does that look like next year for you?
It's going to be a big, better than it was this year. We're going to have actual home and away series, and we'll do a fair bit of travelling to China and Fiji, Samoa. There's a team in Asia, and the Malaysian Valky, which is a South African team. It's a bit more, fast-flowing than what we're used to, so you definitely have to be fit when you play because there's a lot more running around than I know when you compare it to NRC, and it's just a bit more movement as a forward.
Excellent, and I think they promote that with their rule variations and the 9-point tries. That's excellent. What's the proudest moment of your career?
Probably winning the grand final this year. That was pretty special. I mean, we had a goal. We set goals at the start of the competition that we'd want to win. We wanted to win the whole comp, so to achieve that was it was pretty good considering we fell a bit short the previous year.
Most of this Stockman Sessions is for bringing up and coming players from the bush, from similar areas to yourself, and trying to point them the right direction if they want to have a crack at rugby in terms of professional development. How they go about that. What's been the biggest challenge for you? Has it been diet? Has it been training? Has it been discipline with your time in terms of signing a professional contract?
Probably my biggest challenge was, because obviously when you move into a professional contract, you're doing a lot more training. My body because I'd just been playing club. You know, you train 3 times a week and play on the Saturday. My groin struggled, and I had quite a bad groin injury. I actually tore my groin off the bone. So my biggest challenge was just managing my rehab to get back on the field. It was about a 4 or 5 month recovery process. That was at the end of last year. I did it in the last game last year. So just, you know, staying dedicated. You've got all the tools there at training, but it's easy to slip away from, you know, your training because it becomes so monotonous doing the same thing every day. But just staying, you know, disciplined to do your rehab and stick at getting back to being fit, I reckon has been my biggest challenge so far. I live with another boy on my team, Jack McGregor, so and I also live with a fellow called Isaac Fines who's gone to the Brumbies now. But I think if you surround yourself with people doing the same thing or with the same goal, you stay on track. Like we always, if you eat well, you have more energy to train well. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you're at 112 kilos now, 195 centimetres tall, Fergus?
Yeah, correct.
Personal habit contributes to your success at the Force and going forward, Fergus?
Recovery's been a good habit for me. I didn't really do much recovery when I live in Sydney. Every afternoon after training, I'll go do a saunas and a bit of a swim in the pool after training. I think that's a good habit that I've picked up.
If you had one piece of advice that you could have received or that you'd pass on to someone else if they wanted to play professional rugby and they came from a rural or regional area, what would that be?
I think it'd be, like, when you're younger, you can get caught up in all that, you know, those academies and, like, if you're from the bush and you don't get picked in those academies and stuff that all the city kids get picked in, it sort of steers a lot of kids away. I'd just say, because I never got picked in any of that. You know, when you're younger, those kids get a big ego and half of them aren't even playing footy anymore. So, like, if you're a young kid and you're playing footy and you're not getting picked up in all those rep sides and stuff, don't be scared off by it. Just keep playing footy, and if you're a tough kid and you play good footy, you'll get picked up, you know?
Yep. Is it a necessity, do you think, to move to the Brisbane or Sydney areas to progress your rugby at the moment? I think
it'd definitely help playing rugby if you get into sort of, you know, grade footy and you're playing in Sydney and Brisbane. It probably helps because obviously it's good quality rugby. You know, you're playing good teams every weekend, but there's nothing wrong with country footy. Like, country footy's tough rugby, and a lot of the times if a country footy player comes to Sydney to play, he'll play top end grades because they're good players, you know. So it has pros and cons.
When the Stockies came to Perth last year, what did you make of that? What did you make of the game, the build up to the game, and Stockman rugby?
No, I thought it was really good. Like, obviously we train, you know, every day. We train most days of the week, and we know the ins and outs of our team. Whereas you guys just get brought together and just have a crack, which was really good. I thought it was a really good game. Like, it was really good fun. And then obviously afterwards was the best bit where, you know, we get to hang out with all the players and, you know, go have a beer with them after, which is good, and you make new friends, you know. I can still talk to some of the boys that came over in that game. So the thing I liked is you guys, you know, wouldn't be afraid to throw it around, and you kept playing the whole game, you know.
Fergus, in terms of professional rugby, taking the step from amateur rugby and then even farming life, how important has resilience and mental health been in your journey?
Like, for me personally, every week over in Perth, I still keep looking up the weather. Like, I always look up the weather and the rainfall forecast for home, just to, you know, see and hope that it's raining. Like, my housemates and everyone in at footy, because there are a few boys that have a country background. We all sort of talk about it. And rugby, you have like a close community. They're sort of like a mini family because you're with them every day. I always talk about, like, boys will ask me, has it rained at your place yet or whatever? And I'll always just, you know, have a yarn about it. Or it's good that people show interest.
Absolutely. Sharing the experience always helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
We first met you last year in August when the Stockman came to Perth to play the Force. You were instrumental in a drought assistance appeal for farmers. Even though we're in the West, it was for the East Coast mainly. We were in drought last year as well. Tell us a little bit how things have changed since 2018 in terms of drought and on your place.
Before I moved to Perth in 2018, just that summer, we were feeding stock. We were feeding stock every day, and pretty much the whole time I've been at Perth, we've just got a little bit of rain just at the right time. That's just had the allow us not to have to feed, but the rain hasn't come now since August, so we've just actually started feeding again since I've come home. I get the month of December off, so I've come home and started feeding this week actually, and the water's really, we're nearly out of water, so if it doesn't rain in the next, sort of month, we'll probably have to start offloading stock. It's not looking too good.
Looks like it's been drought declared in your area for quite some time.
Yeah, no, it looks shocking. It's just, there's not even any dry feed. It's just all dirt. Big winds, big westerlies come in every afternoon, and it's just like a desert.
And going forward, Fergus, your aspirations and plans for the future. Next year's shaping up to be a big year for you. Is there anything else on the horizon?
No, I just want to have a good year next year. Keep starting every game. Yeah, you never know where it can take you. Hopefully, more people start watching our brand of style of rugby, and it gets a lot more interest across the East Coast. Obviously, it's probably a bit quiet over there, but the more people that watch it, the better it is for everyone. So
absolutely, where rugby is at the moment, it's only a good thing for us.
Exactly.
When you
get the Stockman team back over to play us.
Hopefully, we'll snag you one day, Fergus. Thanks so much for your time today, mate. We wish you every success in 2020. We hope you have a great Christmas. We'll be praying for rain.
No worries. Cheers. Thank you.